I can say though, in not rebuttal, but no, it's like Nintendo does stick with their guns and they do their own thing. But that's also why the GameCube failed, because they wouldn't give it out to third parties. They were like, no, you're going to do no, and they just were like, we will do our own thing, and they had no games for GameCube. I mean, yeah, there were great games for GameCube, but I
didn't mean hardware necessarily.
Oh, no, I meant like the actual discs. Like let's think about the games that came on GameCube that were really popular, and then think about how many were multi-platforms. Not very many. I mean, you had like, and then the games you did have that were actually gems were like, oh yeah, it was like Pikmin was good, and then Brawl and Melee and all those were good. Games. But then you were like, then you had Need for Speed and. You're like, that's a good Rogue Agent or another GoldenEye game that was so bad, and it was like, I'm like, dude, whenever they gave a third-party game with GameCube, it just ruined it, and I was like, great. So Nintendo was so worried.
For the most part, good games on the GameCube were all the first-party ones.
I think
and Resident Evil.
But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, because I don't want to get a console knowing that all its good games are available on other systems. Like, you want exclusives for incentive to get the system itself, so I guess I disagree on the importance of that.
I think incentive enough was Twin Snakes. I mean, if you want to play Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, that's where you get it. Like, GameCube was the system to get it on. But, I don't know. It was an interesting one. What were we originally talking about? E3, TGS?
He was talking about how the Yakuza games are adding zombies, so I was just saying that, I enjoy people who really stick to... They aren't trying to, get bandwagon fans. They want to get new fans using what they already know works, instead of just changing themselves.
Speaking of crazy new fans... no, this doesn't even have a good segue. Did you hear about Medal of Honor and... the U.S. government is banning it on their military bases?
Nope.
Oh, yeah, because of the whole...
Because you get to play as a Taliban. I'm like, look, I'm pretty sure that those are the people that you don't have to worry about being sympathizers towards them. Like, you don't... You should be able to be like, hey, guess what? Medal of Honor, here you go. You get a free copy. And then, like, England is banning as well because there's no European presence, specifically SAS forces. And I'm like, okay, it's... What was it? It was an American... company making an American
Medal
title
of Honor.
Yeah, Medal of Honor.
I mean, American award.
The best part is that there was an ex-SAS guy writing the novel for the prequel of it, and they were like, "Oh, what does he know?" And I'm like, "Dude, he's SAS. I mean, military is military. He knows the war, and not war, but he knows wars. He knows conflicts. He knows things like that. It's not like playtime fun war squad that he was in. He was in actual SAS, which was hard. So but I don't know, it's kind of ridiculous.
You look like you want to say something.
I was just saying we're coming up on about 25 minutes here. Do you want to do a quick round out with just maybe some more games that from E3, or because we're talking about E3 and
you haven't talked at all about Deus Ex. I thought you would.
Just really looking forward to it. I mean, they haven't really said enough about it other than releasing trailers and what style of game it's going to be, but I just pretty much thinking of what has been announced that we're all looking forward to. Like,
well, pretty much every game that I'm looking forward to is all but one mostly came from Nintendo's conference. Nintendo, in my opinion, and I think this is the general consensus, blew everybody away this year at E3.
Oh, easily.
The last couple of years they were kind of a little disappointing with, pulse readers and shit like that. But, they just blew everybody away this year, doing what they needed to do, announcing all these games and all these series. I mean, with the exception of Star Fox, at least in terms of getting a new game, all their main series had something. Other M for Metroid,
Kid Icarus, Kirby.
Kid Icarus is coming back. Oh my god, I love the original Kid Icarus. Kirby's coming back with a game. Donkey Kong, people have been waiting for this stuff. And they do this, and then they announce the 3DS, which, looks like it's going to be fantastic. Then they release this list of games for it, and it's just gem after gem after gem. Metal Gear Solid 3 remake.
What?
Yeah. 3DS.
For 3DS?
Yeah. Full Metal Gear Solid 3 remake.
Oh, I gotta get that game.
The new Resident Evil game, using the Resident Evil 5 engine. New Paper Mario, Star Fox 64 remake, Ocarina of Time remake, new Mario Kart, everything. And it's just like, how can you not appreciate what Nintendo is putting out there right now?
Yeah. My whole thing with... I'm mostly going to be talking about Tokyo Game Show really quick. I'm just going to kind of blitz through everything. A bunch of really ridiculous stuff announced. A ton of new Kinect games that look great. They've got a couple Kinect horror games that look really good. A game that kind of is a throwback to Panzer Dragoon, where you're just flying, but you use your entire body to do the flying. A new Steel Battalion, that old Xbox game that had the $150 or $200 controller. It was a mech game, and it had literally an entire mech console with like 200 buttons on it or whatever.
That was ridiculous.
They're making a new one.
They really did shoot themselves in the foot with that.
Yeah, kind of. There is a new one, though, coming out for the 360 that doesn't use buttons at all. It uses Kinect. That somehow you're going to be able to play the entire mech game with just your body. What else? Let me see. I'm kind of like blitzing through all the old news from the other day. We have Metal Gear Solid Rising, which they showed new demos of. That looks amazing, and it's going to be Kinect compatible.
I'm not sure if I'd want to play that game on Kinect. How would you?
I think they're
entire
doing
body
both.
motion to like.
I
think I'd have a
think
field day with it.
I think that would be. I would not have I would not enjoy that. I'm one of those people that like. I enjoy the idea of just walking on the screen and being like, "Hey, turn on," and like it turns on.
That's gonna be.
But
cool.
like, well, I mean, like, I was watching somebody play Burnout Paradise with Kinect, and they had to have their arms up in the air, and I was like, all right, arms up in the air, that makes sense. How long can you hold your arms up though in a straight position and actually like play a game? You'd be playing it for like 15 minutes.
The other day when I was streaming, it actually came up. We were discussing the issue with Kinect that we know is there, where they were talking about, and this is a problem with the fitness games people are trying to release. If you're laying on the floor, the system stops working.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is a really hindrance on
protect
these fitness games people want to do, because a lot of fitness exercises take place on the floor. But then somebody brought up an interesting question that hadn't even popped up in my mind. What are they going to do for people who, amputees, or people who,
Yeah,
it doesn't
or
even
restricted to
detect like
wheelchairs.
prosthetic materials or something. Like, how are they going to, make this system work with them? And I was like, wow, like, I don't want to sound like an insensitive jerk, but that didn't even like process in my mind that.
Well, like, what was it? I was listening to it, and I was like, you know what? The only thing I would really be excited for with Kinect was the sign language game. Like, they were going to teach you sign language. I was like, I would love to learn sign language through a game and just have it there. Like, you learn to try to do 5 minutes or whatever, and learn a new sign or something like that. And I'm like, that would be great if you were, if it started teaching you. You speak to it, or
You
how
see,
body language.
and I
like
agree,
that.
but then people are like, oh, we don't want these, this educational bullshit games.
Well, then don't get a DS.
No, not even that. It's just like,
you're going to have games that you want.
And
But that's it. They need to make money off these things. Right?
Exactly.
And I don't think it's a bad thing. Why is it a bad thing?
It's not.
So,
Again, it's your demographic. If you don't want them, don't get them.
I don't know.
Your games are always going to be there.
I mean, this whole thing of like everything's PlayStation Move compatible and Kinect compatible, and I'm like, look, I think that it is a great system, but you're 2 years behind the Wii. And then the Wii is already working on 3D without glasses, and I'm like, all right, that looks awesome.
You mean Nintendo?
What did I say?
Wii.
Whatever. Nintendo, and they're really looking forward. They're like, look, we don't need good graphics. We just need a good story and a good tech idea, and we've got it. And they're like, Xbox is always like, we need Halo and Call of Duty to come out every year or something like that. And I'm like, you know what, that's great. But what are you going to do when Kinect turns into Madden? And you're having to throw that football. And if you throw it wrong, then you messed up the play. It's not the controller anymore. You are that controller.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that's going to go.
I can tell you, it's going to be a lot of really interesting things. I heard something they were saying like, they were saying like fighter games will be played on the Kinect. And I was like, fighting games? How do you do a Hadouken or Shoryuken on a fighting game? And like, you have to empty out what if you have a coffee table in front of the thing? It's going to mess up your entire Kinect feature.
Yeah, we're going to have to really wait until they get, like, actual demos of these things out there, They showed a little bit for games, but they really need to demonstrate how they plan to do all these things they say they plan to do.
Yeah, that's what they were saying with... somebody was reviewing PlayStation Move, and because it detects... I mean, it's the same problem as the Wii, technically, but if that orb that the camera detects gets covered up at all, it stops being detected by the system. So if you've got anything in the way, and the ball goes out of view for a second. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm like that. That's shouldn't it be sending out beams of
it does a bunch of
information?
things, but it's still
like I don't know. I mean, I think that the technology of the PlayStation Move, they should have been focusing more on what the next technology is, and not present technology. Like it looks far too similar to the PlayStation or the Nintendo Wii, and PlayStation has been notorious for keeping with the same thing. Like the same controller has been on 3 different consoles.
It's worked.
It has, but at the same time, you're like, let's think about it. It is better. The PlayStation 3 is one of the best fighting controllers you can use, other than an arcade stick. But I mean, it's starting to show its age. Eventually, you're gonna have to think of new buttons or something like that, and they're like, oh, well, it's this and that. And that's gonna be PlayStation 4 or something, or PlayStation 5 or something like that. Ken Kutaragi, his name's Kutaragi, right? I don't know. It Ken something. I remembered it, and he was like, I planned for PlayStation 4 and 5, and then when they fired him, PlayStation 3 was in a slum.
Ken Hirai.
Yeah.
Or wait.
You just Googled it?
No, that's a Japanese pop singer.
All right.
I cannot.
Look up Korea's Rain.
It's fine.
It's no big deal.
Rain!
All right, we have moved into video.
minutes.
Yeah, we've moved into video 3 territory now, so we should probably.
Okay. Well, we can edit some of this down, but
Again, quick recap of a few other things. Last Guardian gets a release date, holiday 2011. Really looking forward to that.
yeah.
Of course, the Eco Shadow class we talked about. Project Dark, the people that made Demon Souls, their new project,
Okay.
that people are assuming is going to be a sequel to Demon Souls,
Nice.
coming in 2011. So
All
it's
right.
going to be sweet. What else? Yeah, the Snake Eater remake for DS, straight remake with 3D added, 2011. The rumors that 3DS is coming out on November
This year.
20th.
But for those who are confused, September 29th, Nintendo has said they're releasing the exact date for 3DS launch.
And pricing.
And price, and I would assume they're also going to give game prices then, so you'll just have to wait for the 29th, Anything you hear right now is strictly rumor.
Yes.
Wait till then to get upset.
Yeah. Of course, Ni no Kuni, which we talked about. What else is coming? More Ni no Kuni stuff. Oh, a lot of similar stories. The white 320 gig PS3 coming to Japan October 21st, but probably America.
That's another
shortly
reason
after.
that I have trouble following Tokyo Game Show, because anytime they show something at Tokyo Game Show, the only thing I'm thinking is this even going to come out to America?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, PSP 2 rumors. Two Worlds 2 coming October 5th.
Two Worlds 2.
Yes, Two Worlds 2.
Couldn't you just call it Worlds 2?
Okay, technically. Talk on Fable 2 co-op, or Fable 3 co-op being a lot better.
You mean it's not going to be one camera that just
No,
cams
it's a
back?
Fable
No,
2 co-op
the
is pretty
camera is
useless.
actually split between the players.
Oh
You
my
can
God.
You can go off in one direction, the other
Oh,
person can go off in
straight
the other.
1998, technology right there.
Mag 2.0 with PlayStation Move support, weapon purchases.
I'm
and
so
more.
happy they added happy hour to that game.
Yep. God of War, Ghost of Sparta to PSP. Halo Reach having disk read error problems.
Yeah, I seriously thought that happened to me a couple times.
That would be harsh.
It was
I
flipping out.
hate when that crap happens.
Okay, well, hopefully, this kind of thing has given you kind of an idea of,
Just
what
about
we
what
think
we've got
what we
going
think
on.
about what's going on, and it kind of shows us what kind of gamers we are.
Yeah.
There'll be other podcasts where
This one
we'll
was kind
really
of-
get into our deep thoughts, and you'll really
Yeah.
see our what makes us tick.
It'll be an hour and a half long. And
This one was kind of just sort of a spur of the moment thing. The other
Yeah.
ones are going to be a lot more organized than this. This
Yeah.
was just kind of a dicking around.
This one and the introduction one that came just before this are both kind of experiments
was
too.
kind of dry though. We
was
did it
just
pretty
something
dry
dry.
though. I mean that was we needed it to be done, but
But it just needed to be something simple. This one will be a better idea of how things go more, casually.
Yes.
All of us talking, but these will get better. These are kind of just finding our niche
Sweet
and
spot.
working with it.
Yep.
As
So
usual,
cool.
thanks for listening.
Of course.
We'll see you all in stream. All that good stuff.
Alrighty.
Bye.
Alright, see you
Later, guys.